my beautiful co-creators. Lilu here. I'm in beautiful Yucatan, actually. Chichen Itza is really not too far away. We can even see it. I'm sitting with Lucy Romero, and actually I'm very excited to sit with you, Lucy, because you've got this beautiful energy, this beautiful outfit. I really, this is one of those gorgeous moments, because we were supposed to meet 5 years ago through Pablo Aureliano that present to me so many great people. So I really look forward to this conversation. I know you're a woman of wisdom and of heart, and there's so much to speak about, especially in this area of Yucatan. I want to thank you to do it in English, because I know English is not your first language. So we'll subtitle it too with the English word if that makes it. I'm sure one of the co-creators out in the world will be happy to do that. Yes. So we are here at Ocahan.
Yes.
And you're with this outfit.
Yes.
And we're going to speak of Mexico and this beautiful history.
This beautiful part of the country. The country is blessed in this part of the country. The land is so beautiful, so amazing. We have the jungle that now is surrounding us. This is an outstanding terrace. It's not that easy to find that kind of terrace because we are up above of the jungle, so you can see 360 degrees, the sun coming up and going down, and in the morning when the sun rises, all the jungle is full by the singing of different kind of beautiful birds all around. So this land is very close to Chichen Itza, which is one of the main centers for worshiping the woman and to allow us to really get knowledge about the ancient wisdom of the Mayans.
Yeah, Chichen Itza is this big pyramid. We're about 200 kilometers from Cancun, and people come here for a few days to visit the different ruins, and we can see it from the terrace. Actually, I'm gonna show you because this is quite spectacular. There's a beautiful energy in Mexico. Tell us about, your outfit and Mexico and how this is really, I'm looking for my words because there's so much richness and sacredness and divinity and spirituality here. Huh?
Yes, well, the southeast of the country is blessed by the energy of the feminine. So that kind of dress is so beautiful. The mestizas, the women who uses that kind of dresses are very, very important here in this part of the city because they honor their ancestors. All the time they dress in white and everything is broidered with different kind of flowers. So I use it because a very close friend of mine, Maria Coba, which is a priestess, a Mayan priestess that become from a very high lineage of Mayan tradition. She gave that to me as a present in the middle of one important ceremony that we have to reconcile the terrible time that they had with the conquerors, the Spanish conquerors, and the people that belong to these lands. Because one of the priestess of the Christianity, Fray Diego de Landa, he burned the codices. So for the Mayas, it was terrible that they don't have their own codices to really make like the inheritance for a big heritage of knowledge in these codices, and now we just have 3 codices around the world. But all these people, they remain with their own language. The Maya is still alive. Mayas are very powerful people who really know how to survive in extremely difficult situations. When I go into the jungle and I went to visit them and they allowed me to get into their own houses and spend some days with them, I really get amazed because I know if something happens in the world, they are the ones who knows how to survive. They know how to get water, how to get food, how to get shelter, and they could be like 1 or 2 years inside the jungle. Nobody know that they are there, and they can go down the earth, even though in the cenotes there are big passages between one cenote and another cenote, and they could remain there for many months with no more that whatever they need, they will take them. Okay, well, but what is amazing for me is that the wisdom of the Mayans now is arising to the consciousness of international environments and scenarios in which there are many books, and visitors to the big pyramids are going to be increasing in the next years, because now the government, through the national system of universities and Instituto Nacional de Antropología e Historia, it means the national institute that developed the kind of knowledge that really can make research and that really can make profound studies in the Maya sculptures, architecture, and mainly the kind of writing. The kind of writing, we call it hieroglyphics, and we call it glyphos. Glypho mean literally writing in stone. So when you come and you see these beautiful pyramids, you see a lot of signs written on them. But it's now that one part of the scientific approach, the name is epigraphist. The epigraphists are those who are devoted themselves to study what does they want to say in this kind of beautiful stones. They name it estelas. So an estela is a big stone in which is totally carved, and in that carving they written their own story and of course the dates, long dates, because they have a special way of counting.
You see, I didn't introduce you. And there is so much there's so much knowledge that you have, and I'm sure everybody is wondering, where, first of all, where are we sitting, and like this woman is in costume and Lilu is interviewing her, and why is that, and who is she? And because tell us quickly about your background before we go any further.
Okay, I am a psychologist. I've been doing clinical psychology for 30 years. I was graduate first at the National University, and then I studied 2 special trainings and master degrees in couple and marital therapy. And I went to Amsterdam. I studied with Stephen Wolinski, who was one of my main mentors, and Deepak Chopra. I worked for him for a long time, and he introduced me in primordial sound meditation. So I am like bridging in my own self everything relating mind, emotions, spirit. And my main interest is to open to the public consciousness that now is the time for women to really speak out loud what they want and what they need. And that's why this land is so important in terms of not just Mexico, but the international consciousness, because here the feminine energy is worshipped. And it's very, very clear as soon as you come to Yucatan, to the whole southeast, which means Yucatan, Chichen Itza, Uxmal, and the part of Campeche, and as well as Quintana Roo with Tulum, and Chiapas, who has beautiful buildings, and Palenque there.
Ekbalam as well?
Ekbalam, yes, all these belongs to the Mayas. And all this land has a strong and powerful empowerment for women. That's why women in ancient times, even though the important women from the Aztecs, they came here to deliver their own babies. Because if the baby was delivered here, his life will be blessed.
Magnificent. And obviously, you wrote many books and you do conferences around the world, and you're definitely this warrior of light. I mean, I spent some time already with you, and it's been such a delight. And I know the person that introduced us is very much aligned himself, and so it's always great pleasure to have this conversation. And if you're wondering where we are, we're actually sitting here in a hotel called Okahan. Okaan, and it's really, really close from Chichen Itza. And the reason why I came here is because I was invited by the people that are here on this land. It's a very special place, and I feel very blessed, to be doing this work and working through those kind of donations and being here and exposing like treasures, because this is a treasure really that is that it deserves to be connecting more people to it's amazing the stuff that comes up when we're in places like this, isn't it? Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. Now that I'm
shaking, I hadn't felt that way since Sedona, it's like, it's crazy.
Yes.
So much sacredness. Yeah.
Yes, so much sacredness. You're right. And now we are seated in that beautiful statue, and this is like a duplicate of the jaguar, but it's a female jaguar. And this female jaguar is inside the pyramid of Chichen Itza, has an outside, but it has a small door that in ancient times, well, not that ancient, I mean 25 years ago, I went inside there. Now it's closed because of preservation. The museum declared that nobody can get into. But now there is inside another pyramid. And this pyramid has an escalator, and when you get into the top, you found these beautiful jaguars. It's smaller, it's not that big, and it has like a serpent on the top, double serpent, like very alike the Kundalini style. That means the both energies, because one of the main principles for the Mayans is the balance between feminine and masculine. So they never talk about masculine without implying the feminine, because they are entanglement together all the time. So the basic principles for the Mayans are, the first principle is to acknowledge that we all came from one center. They are not polytheists. There is a wrong and there is a mistake when they think that people think that they were
polarized.
Yes, no, they are monotheist. Monotheist because everything came from a center of creation. Its name is Hunabku. And from Hunabku, it is splitted in two parts, the duality that energize the whole creation with a myth that in all traditions, as you know. So we have the feminine part and the masculine part, which is the second principle. And in this principle is very important that the woman should be respected, should be honored, should be listened, should be proud of it, proud of her own knowledge, proud of being a woman and the portrayer of the creation, because we deliver the babies. And the third principle is that everything is in conjunction with the environment. So the environment and human beings are like a continuity. There is no separation for them. And let me tell you a story that is very nice. When I looked for a teacher inside the jungle, finally I found a beautiful man in Bacalar. Bacalar is a wonderful, gigantic lagoon. It's the longest lagoon in the world. It is 170 kilometers. It's extremely long. Well, there I found one of my teachers, and I said, I came here to study with you. So I brought a pen, and I brought my tape recorder, and I sit down, and he said, what are you going to do? And I said, to listen to you and to write. No. You step on and you walk. And then he took me for 3 long hours walking, and he said, now my teachings are going to begin. So he began and he said, do you listen to this bird? This bird is saying and giving the welcome to you. Did you see that little flower? This flower is because it's healing for that. So they said that life is a walking traveling. And if you want to learn something, you have to walk on life. And then I embrace that knowledge. And I know that walking is the way that you know the environment, because when you are opening your mind and in your heart, looking for answers, and you walk, your own path, then the answers will come from the environment, like presents given to you, given to allow yourself to achieve your deepest intention, your deepest desire.
Did because you spend quite a lot of time, I know you live in Mexico City, but you spent some time here and you love this area. Did you get some new information from the Mayas, or some things that you hear of, what was the 21st of December 2012 really what they were expecting? How is it since?
Well, here in Yucatán, we are developing like a diploma training to teach people who really want to get into the initiation, in the path of initiation of the Mayan tradition, which means that you come and you study and you get into the jungle, and we take you to visit not just to the pyramids and to the ceremonial centers and worship centers, but to the healing people, the healing men and women and priests and priestess who really speak the language and have knowledge. And then what we want is to recover the knowledge of people that really survived for many centuries, and the work that they have done is just amazing. If you just take a look about the beauty of the architecture, the sculpture, the painting, and the music, they really perform in all the arts that we can think on. There are a special thing that I would like to share. There is a special blue, and the one who are painters will know that is a special blue that the Mayans discover, and it's a combination of shells and of some little organic things, and this kind of blue remain for centuries and centuries and centuries without degraded. So this blue is very, very famous because it's the Mayan blue. It's like a turquoise, but a little lighter. So they really devote themselves to make ceramics. If you go to Mexico City and go to the museum, to the archaeological museum, in the room devoted to the Mayan culture, the quantity of small and big statues that this culture provide is bigger than any other in Mesoamerica, because they were so artistic. They were so good handcraft makers that they really portray the way they live, the way they dress. Yeah. The women, the way they took elements from the nature, like feathers, like skins, like color, and like stones. They use beautiful stones. Turquoise stone is a blessed stone. So they put them, and they comb their herbs with so much beautiful and artistic kind of dressing in the hair, that you just go into the website to Google Museo, Archaeological Museum of Mexico City, and then go to the Mayans, and then you will have a wonderful thing. And that's
related. But back to my question about the Mayans and what you're hearing and what is new, and if there's some. How was the 21st of December for them, and did you hear some things from them?
I was here. I was absolutely here, and we said very clear in many lectures that is not the end of the world. It was like, people want some kind of yellow news, that they want to make a dramatic something. The Mayans never said so. The Mayans says that they were so clever that they developed more than three, but the three main calendars for them was the half calendar. Half calendar was 35 days long, and it's a circle that count 20 por 18 months. 20 days 18 months, multiply by 18 months, and then you have 360. And then they have 5 days, which they call the days, los días asiagos. Asiagos means days that the whole population has to retreat and the whole population has to think about what is coming up, and some of the population can go out and get drunk and drunk and drunk because they are going to close a circle. But these have HABB, each have calendar is for commercial, is for commerce, is for agriculture, is for trading. But there is another calendar, and this calendar is the Tzolkin. And Tzolkin is what I am really. You asked me about what I am studying. I am studying the Tzolkin. I want to specialize myself the Mayan studies in Tzolkin, because Tzolkin is the personal sacred calendar. Okay. Yes, so it means that it is a matrix of 20 days and 13 months. So these 13 months are the circle of the moon, and 13 plus 20, it means that it comes to 260. 260 is the days that the woman needs to deliver a baby, to generate a baby. So the Tzolkin manifests the energy of the cosmos the moment that you are born in this planet. So Tzolkin is very important for the Mayans, and is very determining for all human beings, because it's like a trademark, it's like the seal of the energies at the moment that you were born.
So you're saying the 21st of December 2012, we all have one of those dates in our own personal life of transformation and stepping in a new paradigm.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 21 of December, what happened is that the 3 calendars for after 521 years, 5,521 years, it closes. And it means that it is like a coincidence of the 3 calendars. You have one calendar running that is 260 days, another calendar running that is 365 days, and there is another one big calendar that is with the rhythm of the cosmos. And this is the cuenta larga, the long counting. And in this day, the 3 of them closes. That's why is the renewal of a new era. What they really celebrate this day is the new era. It's not that that panic thing of
no, I know. The people watching this channel are very aware actually of the new paradigm. So we're not with that fear portion. We're not discussing that, but really, where the Mayan did everything that happened, because I had this question on Facebook. Was it really something? Were they expecting that? Was it up to their expectation? What happened there? Did they had expectation? Are they happy now?
Everything, they are absolutely happy because everything that they predict happened. I mean, the sun has their own explosions, and with explosions of the sun, there are many events, international events that comes. Now that I am reading Lynn McTaggart, she has research about a Russian man who says exactly the same. And nobody believes him until he's dead. And when he died, the Russian government already acknowledged that it was true. And for me, it was amazing to read that, because it's exactly the same that the codices, the ancient codices of the Mayan says. They said that at the moment that the 3 calendars closes, then the sun will have a very energetic. Now we can feel it. We have this tremendous sun that really make everything brighter. And when we have, that we are photons, all of us are just, when you have this kind of sun, it's a renewal of the mind, renewal of the heart, renewal of the body, even though a genetical, you can transcend your own genes. when you are in that kind of mood and bliss state and environments.
We already had this conversation of transformation through the symbol, and you speak of the butterfly and the serpent, and the really the serpent leaving its old skin. Is it kind of like that? Do you see this transformation? Because I know you speak a lot for women, but in general for men and women, is this what we're talking about here? Also, stepping in this new world means we have to kind of let go of an old skin.
Absolutely, Lulu. Lulu is absolutely.
I love Luli too, or Lulu.
Absolutely, Lulu. It means that all of us, all human being, has the opportunity to really have the energy, because we have to be very precise on that. If you just take a look at the story, I mean, 1 century ago, not just 1 century, 60 years ago, we don't have the kind of talking that we can have now with respect. I remember when I was studying, I was about to end my college in psychology, and one day I brought to the school, I brought one book about astrology. And everybody says, oh, she's cuckoo, look what she's reading. You know, it was like new age thing that is not scientist, and nobody can talk about this because it was like a hippie kind of thing. Now we can talk very seriously, even though we have a very, very senior people, a scientist who are saying, you know, the mystics are right. And now the codices were right. Unfortunately, we need, because our limit kind of fixation of having the proof in our hand, we need the proof of scientists. But we knew that. We knew that. For example, if we are talking about the influence of the environment in human being, and the extended body is the environment. I mean, the Vedanta tradition 5,000 years ago already said so. If you study Ayurveda, you will find it immediately. And the Mayas said the same, but nobody paid attention on that. And now that the last research in big universities around the world, like Oxford, like the centers in Canada, and in big laboratories, they are confirming that this is totally true. Our extended body is our environment. That's why we have to take an eye, a keen eye of who are related with us, who are into our life. We have to really acknowledge and be humble in our heart and say, okay, I am going to mingle around with people that really could be connected in the same vibration, and the other, I am not going to judge, but I am going to say thank you very much, but see you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's choices. And for this transformation to take place, you're saying we need to really take positions,
Absolutely.
kind of, or really choose what kind of paradigm we want to live in too,
Yes.
which means some no's.
Yes, we have to do responsible choices. I mean, choices that really transcend the tradition, the stock fixed ideas in which we develop in our childhood, and all this kind of agreements that people take for granted as something that is true. We have to really put ourselves in a situation, I am going to believe on that. Because, the first responsibility is with your own self. And then with the others. So you have to clean your mind, you have to clean your emotions, and then you have to embrace what you know that really empowers your own view to be in contact with your higher self, who has a project for your soul. And then you will live the life that is your own destiny.
I want to give a little personal note here, because we had quite something, we lived quite something special yesterday here in this area. and I know that as I'm traveling too, I meet some healers and some wonderful people out there in small villages like here that are not known but are doing tremendous great work. Do you have something to say about those healers? Because I know this is you're also on this path and welcoming those healings, and I'm too, and I take the time to really, when there's those synchronicities and it happened at the right moment and it feels right, then there's some wonderful healers. Not all the healers are great, but there are some wonderful ones. Do you have something to say about the impact that has on your life throughout the years to be where you're at now?
Yes, absolutely.
And mention his name, maybe.
Absolutely. We saw yesterday to Don Ruperto, and Don Ruperto is a tremendous medicine man. He joins in his knowledge both traditions. One is the Mayan tradition. He speaks perfectly the language, and he has all the inherent power that belongs to his grandfather. The one who really trained him was his grandfather. And one day that we went to a pyramid, to a small pyramids that they are not totally recovered by now because the government doesn't have enough time and money to recover all of them. He took us there and he said, from here is a departure of a way that connect directly with Coba. Coba is very far from here, is in close to Cancun, and then from Cancun to Tikal, and Tikal is in Guatemala. So just imagine. And I asked Don Ruperto, if you have enough time, could you lead us to do all this trip? And he said, of course, my ancestors did it many times walking. So, walking...
He's not that young, yeah? So how old is he? It's hard to say.
It's so hard to say how...
He's an abuelo. He's considered as a grandfather. He's a grandfather.
Yes, I think that he's 55 or so, but you can never... it's so difficult for that kind of medicines men to really know how old are they, but he is very powerful.
His little house with the different statues there and praying. You don't really know what happens, and there is some kind of beating up with some leaves, but it's just what happens in the end is extraordinary. And he gave me medicine because I have a stomach, an inflamed stomach, and he gave me like a herbal thing, and he said, this is just pure, this is just herbal. Now you take it, tomorrow you will be fine. And I did it, and I feel absolutely fine. So what I am trying to say is that you have to really choose the person, because there are people that is not that true. They are not so authentic. They don't have the real power, the transmission, because it's a power transmission. So how do you know?
Well, here in Ocan, we really have a keen eye for that.
But even in life, wherever you are, how do you know?
I never allowed people to touch my body or to drink anything if I am not totally sure. How do I know it? I know by the experience of the people who recommend me that person, and for my intuition and my feeling. And if I don't feel comfortable, I say from the deepest of my heart, I honor you, but sorry, I am not ready. And I just leave the place.
But these are important conversations to have, and I know it helps a lot of people right now that we're saying this, because it can be confusing.
Oh yes, absolutely confusing.
Even with the Maya thing, it can be confusing, and we heard so many things, and we read things, and things become commercial, and some others, are really true and authentic. Things can change with time also, so it's the intuition and the heart and listening and taking our time and be sure. I feel that's the biggest advice of this whole video, because it's so essential. That's why I am here. I am not here because I like this beautiful hotel boutique, because there are many hotel boutiques in this part of the country. It is because here is a center for studying. And the owner is a man that devotes his energy and his money, and he put a lot of investment here just to develop that kind of consciousness, that the new generations really could have the really seat of the Mayan tradition in their own hand to really explore
this heritage that belong to the whole society in the world, as well as all the big traditions, the Tibetan, the Hindu, the Peruvian, and the Celtics, the Egyptians. All of them are together. They share principles.
Yes. I know that you're passionate with women, and you wrote many books on goddesses and on even jealousy and all that. So we'll do a short part 2 with Lucy right now. Okay. So we'll do another video. If you're interested about this topic, then that'll be next. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Lilo, and thank you for everybody.
Big kiss, my beautiful co-creators. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you for your love and your support. I love you so much. Big kiss. Bye-bye.
Different kind of flowers. So I use it because a very close friend of mine, Maria Cova, which is a priestess, a Mayan priestess that become from a very high lineage of Mayan tradition. She gave that to me as a present in the middle of one important ceremony that we have to reconcile the terrible time that they had with the conquerors, the Spanish conquerors, and the people that belong to these lands, because one of the priestess of the Christianity, Fray Diego de Landa, he burned the codices. So for the Mayas, it was terrible that they don't have their own codices to really make like the inheritance for
and we can see it from the terrace. Actually, I'm gonna show you, because this is quite spectacular. There's a beautiful energy in Mexico. Tell us about your outfit and Mexico, and how this is really I'm looking for my words, because there's so much richness and sacredness and divinity and spirituality here. Huh?
Yes, well, the south part, the southeast of the country, is blessed by the energy of the feminine. So that kind of dress is so beautiful. The mestizas, the women who uses that kind of dresses, are very, very important here in this part of the city, because they honor their ancestors. All the time they dress in white, and everything is broiled with. This is an outstanding terrace. It's not that easy to find that kind of terrace, because we are up above of the jungle. So you can see 360 degrees, the sun coming up and going down. And in the morning when the sun rises, all the jungle is full by the singing of different kind of beautiful birds all around. So this land is very close to Chichen Itza, which is one of the main centers for worshiping the woman, and to allow us to really get knowledge about the ancient wisdom of the Mayans.
Yeah, Chichen Itza is this big pyramid. We're about 200 kilometers from Cancun, and people come here for a few days to visit the different ruins. Hello, my my beautiful co-creators. Lilu here. I'm in beautiful Yucatan, actually. Chichen Itza is really not too far away. We can even see it. I'm sitting with Lucy Romero, and actually I'm very excited to sit with you, Lucy, because you've got this beautiful energy, this beautiful outfit. I really, this is one of those gorgeous moments, because we were supposed to meet 5 years ago through Pablo Arellano that present to me so many great people. So I really look forward to this conversation. I know you're a woman of wisdom and of heart, and there's so much to speak about, especially in this area of Yucatan. I want to thank you to do it in English, because I know English is not your first language. So we'll subtitle it too with the English word if that makes it. I'm sure one of the co-creators out in the world will be happy to do that. Yes. So we are here at Ocahan.
Yes.
And you're with this outfit.
Yes.
And we're going to speak of Mexico and this beautiful history.
This beautiful part of the country. The country is blessed in this part of the country. The land is so beautiful, so amazing. We have the jungle that now is surrounding us.